All right, let's talk crypto. It's a world where fortunes can literally be made or lost on a single tweet. It's driven by tech for sure, but just as often by pure speculation. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most fascinating what-if scenarios in the entire space.
So this is the big question, right? This is at the heart of what we're talking about. What would actually happen if one of the biggest names in tech, Elon Musk, suddenly turned his attention to a really unique crypto project called Pi Network? Let's get into it.
Okay, so to really get this, we have to look at the track record. Elon Musk's influence on crypto is just undeniable. Look at Dogecoin. His tweets, basically just for fun, helped turn a meme into a multi-billion-dollar asset. Crazy. Then with Bitcoin, when Tesla decided to buy it and then not accept it, it sent these massive shockwaves through the entire market. And ever since he bought X, Twitter, everyone's been wondering if crypto payments are coming. The bottom line is this: when he talks, the markets listen.
So, that really sets the stage perfectly for our two players today. The kingmaker, that's Elon Musk, and the contender, Pi Network. So what is Pi Network anyway? Well, it's a project with a pretty simple but, a really powerful goal: make crypto accessible to everybody. They want to take crypto mining away from the folks with super expensive, power-guzzling computers and just put it right in the hands of anyone with a smartphone. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Traditional mining, you need pricey hardware, it eats up a ton of energy, and it's honestly pretty complicated. Pi Network, on the other hand, lets you do it from your phone, uses barely any energy, and it's just super accessible. And that approach has already pulled in millions of users, building this huge community before the coins even listed on major exchanges. Okay, now for the fun part, the core of our whole thought experiment. We're going to walk through 4 hypothetical price points for Pi coin if that Musk effect really came into play. Now remember, this is all just speculation, but it's a really cool way to look at how these markets work.
First up, $100. So, how could it possibly get there? Simple. Pure community hype. A single tweet, a mention, even a hint of interest from Musk could just ignite a firestorm of buying from everyday investors. We saw this exact playbook with Dogecoin, where the social media buzz alone drove the price to insane heights.
All right, our next stop is a bit more symbolic. $314.
Now, this is where it gets clever. The number 3.14, it's pi, right? The math constant. We all know Elon Musk loves a good meme, a good narrative. If he were to lean into that powerful branding, it could create this massive viral marketing moment, pushing the price to a number that isn't just a value, it's a statement, it's a brand.
Okay, our third scenario, this is a huge leap. We're moving past the hype and into the world of actual real-world use. $1,000.
A price tag like this? You can't get there on hype alone. No way. This scenario imagines Pi Network having real, widespread utility. Imagine buying a Tesla with Pi coin, or using it to pay for things on X. That level of integration would get the big institutional players interested. And that would just launch its value into a whole new stratosphere.
And now for the final, most ambitious scenario, a price target of over $10,000. This is the moonshot, the blue sky vision. Here, Pi coin becomes more than just a currency, it becomes a store of value, a kind of digital gold. For this to happen, Musk would have to successfully frame it as a more sustainable, more scalable alternative to Bitcoin. You'd need immense global trust, massive infrastructure, clear rules. It's a long shot for sure, but in crypto, you just never say never.
So let's just quickly recap that journey. It starts with pure community hype, then it builds on a viral story, then it needs real-world utility, and finally, it could, maybe, just maybe, reach for that digital gold status. You can see how each step requires a totally different and way more powerful driver behind it. Okay, after all that exciting speculation, it is absolutely time for a reality check. Because potential is one thing, but the practical risks, that's a whole other story. Let's ground ourselves for a minute. First off, the single biggest thing Pi Network has going for it is its community. We're talking millions of loyal, engaged users who are already in the ecosystem. This built-in army could amplify an endorsement from someone like Musk on a scale that very few other projects could even dream of. But, and this is a really big but, there are some major hurdles. You've got regulators all over the world still trying to figure out crypto, so Pi's future there is a big question mark. Without being on the big exchanges, it's tough to buy and sell, which creates liquidity challenges. And, maybe the most important thing, Musk's influence is a total double-edged sword. A good tweet can send the price flying, but a bad one can make it crash just as fast.
So as we wrap this up, let's just circle back to the beginning. The idea of Elon Musk getting involved with Pi Network is, of course, speculative. But when you look at his history, his love for unconventional tech and shaking things up, it's not totally implausible, is it?
And that leaves us with the final question to chew on. If Musk does get involved, what happens next? Is it just a flash in the pan, a quick burst of hype and then a crash? Or could it be the spark for a real, long-term transformation that turns a little mobile mining project into a true crypto giant? That, right there, is the billion-dollar question. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.
All right, let's just jump right into it. You've got two major players on the board here. On one side, Elon Musk. You know him, the tech billionaire, the Doge father, a guy whose tweets can literally move markets. And on the other side, you've got Pi Network, this kind of mysterious, unlisted cryptocurrency that has this absolutely massive following. And lately, well, the internet has been buzzing, connecting these two in a really fascinating what-if scenario.
I know what you're thinking. It seems like a total stretch, right? So why? Why is this theory getting so much steam? What could possibly connect one of the most powerful people in tech to a crypto that you can't even trade on a major exchange yet? Well, that's the big question we're going to unpack in this explainer. But before we can even begin to connect the dots to Musk, we gotta get on the same page. We need to understand what Pi Network actually is. So let's do a real quick primer on the project itself. At its heart, the big idea behind Pi Network is incredibly simple. It's a cryptocurrency, but it's designed so you can mine it directly on your smartphone. That's it. No complicated setups, no special computers, just the phone that's already in your pocket. And this comparison, this really shows you why it's such a different beast. You know, traditional crypto mining, think Bitcoin, that needs super expensive, power-guzzling hardware, and you gotta have some serious technical chops. Pi just flips that whole script. All you need is a smartphone and their app, which is super easy to use, and key point here, uses very little energy. It's a total game changer when it comes to accessibility.
And that really gets to the project's bigger vision. See, it's not just about launching another coin. It's about democratizing the entire system. The thinking is, by making mining available to literally anyone with a phone, you empower this huge global community and open up access to digital assets for everyone. It's a core ideal of a more decentralized web. Okay, so now we know what Pi is. Let's get to the first major piece of the puzzle in this whole Musk mystery, the power of its community. This is where things start to get really, really compelling. Get this, the scale we're talking about here is just staggering. Even before it's had an official launch on the big exchanges, Pi Network has brought in millions of users from all over the world. This is not some small niche project. It's a massive, pre-built global movement. And that is the crucial point. The project's real power, its strength, comes from that grassroots community. Just think about it for a second. A single tweet, a single endorsement from someone like Musk wouldn't just be a drop in the bucket. It would be amplified, instantly, by millions of incredibly engaged supporters. And hey, we've seen this exact playbook before, haven't we? A huge part of Musk's influence in the crypto world, especially with Dogecoin, came from his ability to tap into that social media buzz and the excitement of everyday retail investors. Pi Network, well, it already has all that energy built right in, just waiting for a spark. Now, let's move on to the second key argument, which really builds on the first. Beyond just the massive crowd, there's a tech and branding angle that almost seems tailor-made for what we know Musk cares about. So a core part of this whole theory is that Pi could be seen as a sustainable, scalable alternative to the heavy hitters like Bitcoin. And remember why. Its mobile-first mining approach is incredibly energy efficient. And this context is absolutely crucial. You have to remember this. We all saw it happen. Tesla famously did a 180 and stopped accepting Bitcoin payments. And the reason they gave was the huge environmental impact of mining. So a crypto that comes along and solves that exact problem, well, it would logically be on his radar, right? And then you've got the branding. It's so simple, it's clever, and it's just unbelievably memorable. The name Pi and its obvious connection to the number 3.14, I mean, that's a marketer's dream. You can just see it now. Musk could so easily lean into that symbolism to create this huge narrative moment. It's the perfect storm of branding, community pride, and viral potential. And let's be honest, creating those viral marketing moments, that's exactly what he's known for. Okay, so this brings us to the final and maybe the most ambitious part of the whole theory.
Because this isn't just about a thumbs up or a simple endorsement. This is about a deep, functional integration into Musk's own ecosystem.
The ultimate what if here goes way, way beyond a few tweets. The real speculation is that Pi could achieve widespread adoption by being given actual, real-world utility inside Musk's massive companies. So just imagine how this hypothetical path could play out. Step 1, Musk gives Pi the nod. Step 2, the community goes wild and amplifies it to the moon. Step 3, and this is a big one, Pi gets integrated as a payment option on X. And the final, ultimate step, you can buy a Tesla with your Pi.
And if that happened, the implications would be enormous. I mean, first, it would instantly give Pi real-world utility, something so many cryptocurrencies are still struggling to find. Second, it could finally solve that whole crypto payment puzzle for X that people have been talking about forever. And third, it would be a giant leap forward for mainstream crypto adoption as a whole.
So, after laying it all out, you've got the community, the green tech, the brilliant branding, and this incredible potential for integration, we're left with one final question. Is this all pointing to the actual future of digital currency, or is it just one of the internet's most compelling, most well-thought-out theories? For now, all we can do is watch and wonder.